Alrighty, let's see here. See how long it takes to refresh the page so we get people looking. Come on, we can do this. Come on. 45 seconds. It should be going now. I don't know why it's not. Guys, if you're on the chat, please make sure. Just let me know. See if we are live. Oh, okay. Looks like we got this, we got the ads. We can skip through. Good. All right, looks like we are live. What is going on, everybody? Please do me a favor as you're coming in here. And I want you to smash the thumbs up, share this with your friends, follow us on Rumble and on YouTube and on X, because obviously I've been posting as many deals as I can over on X, so that's where you guys can get some cool deals from some great companies, updates with the channel, guns, you name it. I'm trying to build our X account up as much as I can. I see a few people in the chat already. I see Johnny Barr up there, my brother from the Great White North in Pew, Hampshire. Hope you're doing well. AD Firearms, which I believe that is ADXR920, who is a monthly subscriber on Rumble here. I didn't know that was a thing. Guys, if you want to help support us here on Rumble, because YouTube no longer wants to let us have fun on live streams. We just got John Crump Live shut down on Flying Rich's channel because he showed a lower receiver. You can do me a favor and you can subscribe to us here on Rumble. I think it's like $5 a month. And we also have super thanks or whatever the hell they're called. What are they calling it? I'm guessing it's just called donations. You can do that on live chat. Obviously, I make sure I recognize those comments. We're trying to kind of build the community here on Rumble. But so we got Johnny Barr and ADXR920 on the chat. Guys, thank you so much. And this is going to be a great show tonight. We're going to be talking to Rod Mills, but let's start the show off like we are supposed to. Alrighty, what is Crackalacking, everybody? Thank you for joining the Shooting Loads podcast. This is episode 231. Wow, I can't speak tonight. That's my dyslexia kicking in. Thank you for joining episode 231 here on Shooting Gallery. My name is Joe. Check this out. Before we get into it, I just had to show this off. Look at this bear. This is my Bear Creek Arsenal BC9. Shout out to Bear Creek Arsenal for sending the gun in. Still testing this. I'm having a bunch of fun with it. It's a side charging, piston driven PCC. It's got that Gideon Optics Advocate on there, that 1X Prism. Remember, if you guys use code JOJUICE at Gideon Optics, you get 10% off your entire order. And to the person that used my affiliate link for JSD Supply and you made a rather large order, I want to personally thank you. I still don't know who used that link, but I really appreciate it. That helps support the channel directly here. So if you could, make sure you get over to JSD Supply. And you can also save 10% with code JOJUICE as well. They're a huge supporter of the channel. But before we get into the conversation, we also have to thank the people that actually make this show possible. Guys, this podcast is sponsored by the amazing people over at Aegis Gun Care. Aegis Gun Care, I've been saying it for years, is the leader in firearms cleaning, lubrication, and solutions. It's a two-part system. You guys have been hearing it forever. I love Aegis Gun Care. This is the cleaner. It gets all your carbon off your firearms. It doesn't have a smell, and it's non-toxic. Then you follow it up with their special lubricant. We call it Joe Juice here on the Shooting in the Woods podcast. This stuff is amazing. It prevents rust. It lubricates your firearms. It does a ton of amazing qualities, you guys. I cannot stress enough how much I love Aegis Gun Care. They also have cleaning kits available. This is their field kit. You get everything from 22 up till 45. You can get patches, you can get hats, merchandise, and even some pretty cool cleaning mats. If you do me a favor and go over to Aegis Gun Care and use code JOJUICE, you will save 10% off your entire order. And we thank Aegis Gun Care so much for sponsoring today's podcast. Guys, don't skimp on the Joe Juice Aegis Gun Care, 10% off. Use code JOJUICE. Directly helps support the channel. All my firearms use Aegis Gun Care, and I've used them for since the inception of the company. Rod is a close, dear friend of mine, and he is one of the people that wants to support this podcast and this channel. And let's also thank the other amazing person that wants to help support this channel. Guys, this podcast is sponsored by Liberty Bell Firearms. Liberty Bell Firearms is the Cerakote of choice here on the channel. They did the Kit Kat build, paint on the frame. This is the SCT frame. Everything we built over from Brownell's Parts. I said, man, I want this to look like a Kit Kat wrapper. He did it. This is awesome. The video is not doing it justice. He not only did the logo, but he did the pins, controls, all different colors, extremely custom. And he also offers laser stippling on things like AR-15 grips, laser engraving as well for metal parts, say your slide, frame, 1911 grip panels. Guys, if you want to get some really cool designs done or get some stuff Cerakoted, please check out Liberty Bell Firearms. They're offering the listeners of this podcast 20% off by using code JOJUICE. We thank Liberty Bell Firearms for sponsoring today's podcast. I say this every week, guys. You cannot do this gun justice by looking at it on video. I've showed a few people this in real life, and they're like, dude, that red just pops. He did the lettering perfect. Like, this gun is literally one of my favorite guns. And I just found out that North Coast Tactical actually makes a holster that fits the SCT-19 frame. So I probably will be starting to carry this alongside with my dagger. If you want to get a North Coast Tactical holster, you guys check out fattac.com. The link will be in the description here later on. I think it actually already is, but fattac.com is our merch shop now, so you can get our new logo on t-shirts, hats, cell phone cases. We got some tank tops, long sleeve shirts, and then we got the tactical Manny shirt. I just got the order confirmation, so we're going to be doing an advertisement soon. They're going to be hopping on as a third sponsor of the channel, so I am super pumped. Check out fattac.com. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. This is going to be an amazing show. Without further ado, let's bring on the man of the hour. I just recently got to meet him when we were at the Hacienda at Hank's Range. We had a good old range day shooting some nylogs, and we all did a video together. And I didn't realize we had like a small time passing when we were at Iraq Veteran this year, and I didn't realize it until like, oh shit, that's Rod Mills. But that is the guest of the night of Scorched Earth Firearms Training, Rod Mills. How you doing, my man? What's going on? First time we finally got you on the show.
Man, I'm up here listening to that your intro, man. I'm like, man, that's a nice ass intro, man. I'm like,
I mean, I got a little. I'm still good. I still got thugs in these streets, you know. Yeah, granted, I grew up in like the rural areas of Massachusetts.
The rural area.
Yeah, I have. You put me in the city, and I'm like, no. Get me out of here. I don't do the city. I can do Tampa a little bit, but
Ybor City.
I did Ybor City once, and I'm like, you homeless people are way too aggressive. I am getting out of here. I did the Ybor City Cigar Heritage Festival, and it was a small city block, and I'm like, okay. And again, I'm not a city kid, so trying to find parking in Ybor City is already a chore. But I'm like,
oh yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, I got my gun on me.
Did you go to Frenchies?
No, I haven't gone there.
You gotta go to Frenchies. You gotta go there, man.
What is it? Is it like a Cuban restaurant? I don't eat meat, so.
Well, it's a seafood restaurant.
Seafood? I could throw down something. I can figure out something to eat over there. Yeah.
I've driven from Jacksonville to Clearwater once just to go there to eat and come back home. I'm telling you, it is that good.
That's an
You got to go
8-hour.
through the Richmond. No. That's about 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes me about, because when I went to the gathering this year, I got lost in Jacksonville on the way back.
Jacksonville's the biggest city in the United States, though.
Really? Oh, I thought what was it? I thought Dallas was. I didn't know that.
Jacksonville is biggest city in the United States.
I can tell.
48. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell because your section of 95 as you're coming down and all those connected, that's got to get worked out. Ronnie D's got to figure his shit out, because trying to just get onto 301, I ended up going all the way around 301. It was a nightmare. But I mean, you guys have the closest Buc-ee's in the state of Florida to me. So in St. Augustine, I would travel that 3 hours.
Daytona's
closer.
Daytona's got. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Well, if you go I-4, you can be at because Buc-ee's is at basically I-4 and 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
I'll have to try. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm me on the West Coast. Because it takes me about, like, if I'm going to Hanks, it takes me about 3 hours. So.
Whoa! It takes you 3 hours to get to Hanks.
Straight up 75, yeah. I'm way down in Sarasota area. I'm way down.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I forgot. You were there. You down there by Siesta Key, Lido Beach, and all of that.
Oh yeah. Yep. Siesta Key. Yep.
Okay. I think you were from Tampa. My bad. Yeah.
Oh no. If I lived in Tampa, it would be a whole different story.
Okay. Siesta Key is Florida's greatest secret.
Yes, I've been there once. Me and my girl went there one of the times she came down. They're parking. They need to get, but it's literally like the most beautiful beach in the entire country. That sand is just on point.
Like baby powder.
They put some serious money into that beach to make it look like that. Like, it's insane.
There's a lot of rich folks live. I think they said Schwarzenegger has a house there, and I think Oprah does. It's a lot of entertainers that live in that area down there. Siesta Key, Lido Beach, all of that.
Oh yeah. Randy Macho Man Savage actually got married on Lido Beach before he died.
Okay, well, that doesn't surprise me, because Hulk Hogan lives in your area somewhere.
Yeah, he lives in Tampa. Or Clearwater area. I went when my mom came down to visit me since I moved down here. Me and her, we went to his. We didn't go to the bar, but we went to his like memorabilia shop. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
they got one in Orlando too.
Yeah, you got one in Orlando. I've only been to Orlando a few times since I moved down here, and I always find a reason to go, because I love going to Orlando. I don't know why. Hey, I'm a little bit younger too, so I can have a little bit of fun. But anyway, so Rod Mills, I want to know what actually got you into firearms. Because for guys that don't know, Rod is a firearms instructor in the state of Florida. So if you're in the Jacksonville area, please look up Scorched Firearms Training. I have a link in the description on his Instagram where you can get a hold of him. What got you into firearms? Because what people don't know is you had a prior engagement with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You didn't play pro football, but were you like an announcer?
No, actually, I was in the PR department and communications department. So basically, and I was one of the, I guess you would say, like, game day. I'm not gonna say I was a temp guy, because I did sign a contract every year for 13 years. But we would do. When you're talking about the NFL, it's basically a big presentation. The football part is just one part of many parts.
Yep.
So with the PR staff, we're the ones that take care of all the media type stuff, interviews, press releases, anything that has to do with media, journalists, all of that stuff. We're the ones that, where I was one of the ones that you would see when you look at guys in the locker room. You see some guys hand up to you, with a microphone or something like that. That's normally the PR department or the communications team.
Well, that I still think that's so cool. I'm not the biggest football fan. I grew up with literally the Tom Brady era of New England
Mm,
Patriots, so that's all football I watch, or I did
mhm.
watch. Then Tom Brady left the Patriots, and I was like, I don't need to watch football anymore. So that's how
I was
that is.
glad he left. I'm
Oh
a
man,
Dolphin
listen.
fan, so yeah.
Listen, bud. Listen, my mother is a diehard New England Patriots fan, and she still hates Tom
Mm.
Brady for leaving the New England Patriots. Like
Oh,
you don't bring up Brady in my mom's house.
wow,
It- oh, she's that
wow.
hardcore. She thought it was a slap in her face. It was bad. But so you work for the NFL,
Yeah,
and obviously you're not with the NFL anymore. Before
right,
we
right.
get into how you got into the firearms training, when you worked for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I know this because I'm a pro wrestling fan. So at the
Mhm.
time, did the Khans still own the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, yeah. He's on the Jaguars. I'm gonna say, ooh, I think he took over somewhere around like maybe 2010 or 2011, something like this. 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah.
He took over. Yeah, and his I know his son, I remember his son was just, like,
Tony Khan
doing
is, he's the like head of, he's the head
yeah,
of All Elite Wrestling.
yeah. And he used to, before he was like one of the analytics guys for the Giants, that sort of thing. But that's, basically when I remember when I can tell you, man, I was with the organization since '06, so I can remember when all the cons folks came in. Tony was one of the analytics guys, and just used to walk cool dude. I knew his dad was a billionaire, but and I knew that he had to have had money if his dad's a billionaire. But yeah, to see him grow to where he is right now is amazing
That's
because I
cool.
remember basically he was pretty much fresh out of college, and always a good, cool dude. You know, just he was just like a regular guy around
Yeah,
the facility. Yeah, as
that's
you can see,
cool.
my one of the players gave me
Oh,
a helmet
nice.
there,
There you
and
go. I like that.
yeah, they actually gave me a game. It's deflated now. It's old, but one of the game balls here got one of
Oh, that's
those.
awesome. That's awesome. I love that. So when you left the NF, when you left working for the Jaguars, what got you
Mhm.
into doing firearms training? Like, did you grow up around guns, or were you like, did you just find like a hobby and you're like, oh, I really like this, and it kind of blossomed into what it is?
So I'll tell you, long story short, I actually grew up in a neighborhood of all boys my age. And we first started off with the little Daisy BB guns where you
Yeah.
cock them.
Yep. Yep.
And then, we graduated, went up to the pump BB guns and then the CO2 BB guns. And man, we would be out there shooting squirrels, robins, and not knowing that, because I was basically self-taught. I didn't have anybody teaching me how to shoot a BB gun. But keep in mind, if you're shooting squirrels up in an oak tree, I mean, you're talking about, you can shoot them in the body, but if you want to knock them down right there, you got to hit them in the head.
Yep.
And I actually honed my skills not knowingly doing that. Then many years later, I joined the military. Went to the military police academy for the Army. I was a military police officer. Went in, hadn't really shot a gun, before I got in there, a real gun, and got there. And man, my drill sergeant was like, "Hey, man, you know how to shoot pretty good. Who taught you how to shoot?" I said, "Nobody." He said, "No, really, who taught you how to shoot? Because you're like, really, really, your groupings are good at like, I think we're like 300 yards, and, you
Yep.
know, big target that we shot, it was nothing to me." So did that. And then, of course, the military police, the Corps, we shot those Colt 45s back in,
Oh, wow.
that's a long time ago, Colt 45s. And then we graduated to the Berettas. But yeah, man, I did that. And then but I was never really a gun lover at that time. I didn't really get into guns per se until maybe around 2009. And I'll tell you what happened. It was the apartment complex I stayed in was okay, but in the area around the apartments or other surrounding areas, they were doing like a lot of home invasion robberies. So it was about 2:00 one night. You know how we get Florida storms here. It was about 2:00. I hear this boom on my door. First thing I did was grab the broom and went to the door and saw that it was a tree that hit my door. But I actually had an epiphany saying like, what would happen if that was a real person trying to come in here? I got a broom. That's nothing. So that next week, I went ahead and got my concealed weapons license, and I went and bought my first. Well, no, I'm not. You know what? I'm lying. I can't say that was my first gun. You know what my first gun was? I was actually in college, but I never shot the doggone thing. I had a what's the yeet cannon?
The high point.
Yeah, I had a high point. I would tell you now, guys, don't laugh at this, but I bought a high point not because I knew about high point, but because I thought it looked like a Glock. You know, back then I'm like, okay, I'll get this gun. It looks like a Glock, and it's only like $99.
I mean, hey, for a college kid, $99, that's affordable. And you know what? High Point, it is for the most part, they're reliable guns as long as you keep them clean. You know, and people want to talk a lot of shit about High Points. I don't care. I love them. I have a 10mm carbine that I absolutely love. High Point's supporter of the channel, and they are simple. And for people that are new to guns, it's perfect. Teaches you a lot of stuff. But right. so you bought a High Point in college, but then you decided, okay, I'm going to get a concealed weapons license.
Well, actually, I was running low on money at one point, so I went ahead and hopped the High Point to the pawn shop and to get me some money. Never did get it out. So a couple of years later, and we're talking about like the early 90s now, went and bought me a Lorson. Man, I thought I was doing something, man. It was chromed out.
Oh, yeah, like, yeah.
You know, but you know, then, but you know, once I had that little incident with the tree hitting the door, I went and bought a Springfield X4. What is it, XD40?
Yep.
Yeah. When that first came out, held on to that for a few years, sold that, and then got into the Glocks, and man, it's been a whirlwind ever since then.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. And so you got into gun, you know, you had that epiphany, which I think anybody would. You know, I had that thought myself when I moved down here. Like, I was into guns before I moved down here, but I didn't really have that. I didn't have a concealed weapons license down here, which in Florida you don't really need it. At that, you know, I'm able to have it with my driver's license. But you know, at the same time, when you're on your own and you hear those noises in the night, your first reaction is, I gotta grab something to protect myself. So you know, you realize, okay, the firearm is a great equalizer, and then that's what kind of got you into, you know. Yes, you got two strikes under that rod. You got a Springfield, which is already a no. Then you got a 40. All right.
I didn't know
again, we've all made mistakes. I carried a 40. Yep. I had a Smith & Wesson SDVE 40 on the Pumongous podcast that DLD After Dark I run. We actually just covered the Sigma series of pistols that Smith & Wesson makes, and I'm just going to go to the chat here real quick. I do see DLD After Dark is in the chat. What is up, brother? He says, I searched shooting in the hood and this show popped up. Okay, I guess I'll check it out. I mean, hey, some type of Google Analytics is doing some type of good thing on Rumble. So, guys, make sure you're liking this. I really appreciate it. And then Johnny 3 Bars out there, he says, welcome to the Hood Rats Furry channel. God damn John Crump with him messing with me. And dear Lord, it's never going to leave me. And then DLD After Dark says, Arnold got that house as a gift from Pfizer for promoting the jab. I'm gonna say, you know what, Dark. I'm gonna go with yes. You are almost 100% right. We're not gonna get into that here, but if you guys have any questions for Rod as we're going through this, I will be going back in the chat. Obviously, it's a 20 or 30-second delay, so I want to make sure I am keeping up with the live chat. I appreciate everybody's uh support and listening, kind of joining in with the live chat. Deal with the After Dark also says a 40 Smith and Wesson saved my life. Can't lie. LOL. There you go. I mean, but now you carry a 9, so it's all good. So what got you? So you got into that. What got you into the point where you're like, I want to become a firearms instructor?
So going back to my military days, when I went into the Army, I was an E3 because I had college education. And what happened was my unit, first sergeant, a lot of guys in my unit for some reason couldn't shoot. They were military police guys. And I was one of the ones that had the best scores when it come to our yearly qualifications. So he actually had me on the line as a quasi RSO guy, training up everybody from E8s all the way down to E1s. I was the guy out there teaching everybody because keep in mind, hey, it's an army of one. One person fails, we all fail. So he put me out there. Hey, Pride Mills, going out there, do your thing. And then I started coaching everybody up. And then I just got to be the guru in my unit as the guy that could shoot the best and who to go to if you want to learn how to shoot good. And then, now again, we're talking about mid to late 90s during this period. And then the Jaguars didn't they didn't re-sign my contract after the 2018 season. They told me I was too old. I was getting too old.
It's like F you. Thank you.
Yeah, I should have sued it behind, but nevertheless, been rich. But nevertheless, I actually had a buddy of mine that was going through Florida State Trooper Academy. And at that point, I was going to the range, pretty regularly then. And he said, man, hey, I'm doing good in the classroom portion of Florida State, the academy. You mind if I come out there to the range with you and you can kind of show me some things? And I said, okay, cool, yeah. And needless to say, that guy graduated first in his class, did excellent in shooting. Then he told a couple of Jacksonville sheriff's officer folks that he knew that what I did for him. And then they came, and keep in mind, during this whole time, I'm not charging anybody anything. I'm paying for my own ammo. I'm coming out there and everything. And then, they told me, they said, hey, man, you should think about doing this professionally or at least, getting some money for it. I'm like, okay. So, I had this crude Facebook page back then, and it was a cartoon picture of me, shooting my my AR-15. And man, I tell you, man, it was funny because I remember doing appointments on Facebook, and I would gather up all my gear, go to the range. I wouldn't get any money up front. I would get to the range, then no call, no shows. So that only had to happen about maybe 10 times. Then I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and just start getting a web page, get my logo, making everything official.
Yep.
Went to NRA training, got my certification and everything. And I would tell you this, though. I did use the pandemic as a good point for me to do a lot of growing. And I say that took me from just being just this normal everyday guy to, one of the top instructors in the Northeast Florida area. So now I am the go-to guy. If you guys look at my Google ratings, go to Scorched Firearms Training, look at my Google rating, a lot of people like to say, oh man, that's just you doing it. Nope. I got everybody, and I got pictures to verify everything.
I was going to
So,
say, your Instagram, all it is just students learning how to shoot guns. You train a lot of women that are looking to shoot guns, which I really appreciate. I think that's awesome that you're into making sure that women are also, because, it's the adage of a lot of women go into gun shops. I've seen it personally working in gun shops, and they're like, I'm looking to buy a gun, and they're literally told the worst advice on God's green earth. And I just want to be like, dude, like, just have some type of brain on you that this person is looking to defend themselves, and you're telling them to literally get the completely wrong gun, which is kind of where I want to lead into this. With you doing all this work with a lot of first-time gun owners, what are some things that you see when they're bringing them to classes that, because in the state of Florida, you can actually buy a firearm without a concealed weapons permit. You just have a 3-day waiting period as long as you're over the age of 21 and you're, obviously you're not a felon, you can pass a background check. What are you seeing people actually bringing to your classes when they probably, I'm guessing, I can't imagine you probably get this once or twice a week. Hey, I just got a gun. I'm looking, I don't know how to use it. Is there any way we can schedule a private lesson or something? And they bring this gun and it's something that you're like, who told you to buy that? Like, what are you seeing people bring their guns?
It actually isn't that bad now. At the beginning, you would get, some of everything. A lot of women were getting those little, what's that little micro Smith and Wesson, the little small, really small one.
The Bodyguard.
The Bodyguard, yeah. The Bodyguard was, and I'm like,
I hate that gun so much.
I'm like, this thing is only good for maybe 5 yards, I say it's good as any. I tell anybody, I say any gun is better than no gun at all. But I said, and the main thing they like to say is, hey, well, it's easily concealable. It is. I don't know it's there. I said, yeah, but
you can. People think, oh, I need this tiny gun. I think that's complete utter horse shit. You can conceal even an EZ, a Smith & Wesson EZ. Those guns are a little bit bigger. They're going to be able to conceal that just as easy as a Bodyguard or even a Glock 19. The Glock 19, you can conceal just as well as anything else. It's just how you get a holster, how you carry it. But I almost had a feeling you were going to say instantly a Bodyguard 380 or like a Smith & Wesson 642, the little small J frame.
Yeah, man, and that's that Smith & Wesson, that 642 is worse than the Bodyguard because most women can't pull that trigger. Unless they go and get those wool springs put in, and then now you got to get a gunsmith that go ahead and lighten those that trigger pull. But I will say the two guns that I see most when it comes to women are the Taurus G3C. And the Smith & Wesson the Echelon, and the EZ. Those are the three for women that I get. I thought I liked that EZ at first, but I really, to be honest with you, that EZ isn't really good for a beginner because of the fact that you got to think, if most women that get a gun, they're probably not going to be shooting that gun every week. Okay. That EZ and that Echelon requires you to have a perfect grip on it, where you and I may grip that perfectly every time, but for somebody who's not used to gripping that gun as much or going to the range as much, they're going to have an issue. Okay, especially under stress. It is good for loading. It's good for the racking the slide and everything. But, for the main thing with that rear safety, grip safety on there, man, that I had a lady over the weekend. She kept messing it up because her grip she was not used to gripping that gun. Now, when I shoot that I love that EZ 380. For me, I love it, man. I'm like, man, it just fits well in my hand. But I think Smith and Wesson should have maybe not used that grip safety though. And yeah.
I think they did that also, so it'd be 50 state legal, and especially with places that have handgun rosters. Massachusetts, that gun was one of the most we couldn't keep them in stock. It was one of the most popular guns you could sell. I personally like their performance center models better than the standard EZs, just because I like the flat face trigger, and I like the sights that the performance center comes with. They come with the True Glow TFX Pros. Some people don't like them. I do. But I got a feeling that was probably going to be the top couple, because working in gun shops for people that were new, I would either recommend a G19, an EZ for someone who might have, they just want a gun, or they have hand strength issues, or there you go. Well, what we got going on? What we got going on here? Is this your carry gun?
Yeah, 43X. Got the Safari Precision barrel on it. Got a let's see, who is this? Safari Precision did the slide too.
Nice.
Got the night sights on there. Holosun, I think this is the 407K here, and got the TLR light laser combo on the end there. I got this gun before they had the what was that, the Glock style, when they have the easy
the 48.
Well, no, not the 48, the 43X, but the one that has the rail on the front, the Picatinny rail. I'm sorry,
yes. I know what you're talking about. I think that's the
Then I got
43X, yeah.
Then I got the shield.
Nice.
This is my pimped out shield. Pimped it out. I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna carry a gold nitride, what is it? Nitride?
Titanium nitride, yeah.
Titanium nitride. I gotta have the gold grip on the end here. So, just doing that, and actually, this gun is very good to shoot. It's a real good, smooth shooter.
I like it.
But this is my baby here, though.
Ooh, look at this. Let me put you full screen for a second. Hold on 1 second so I can get the right button. All right, let's see what we got here.
All right, so this is a APF, which is Alex Pro Firearms. This company is out of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of SWAT, law enforcement bills for different police departments. This is that old Surefire light here. I got my Sandman S on here. Got the Surefire pair. Got the Bravo grip on angle grip on here. Let's see. Actually, and I got the Trichicon Patrol on here, MRO Patrol. Got the B5 stock here. Got the Irregular Defense cheek mod here.
Yep.
Of course, I always got to have the Talon grip here, and this is the one, the SD Talon grip.
Okay.
Also got the Geisley Super Dynamic
combat.
Yep,
I have that same exact trigger in my Bear Creek arsenal that I was showing off earlier. That guy, that is one of my favorite triggers. It's worth every penny.
Man, love the 2-stage trigger. Now, one thing with me, when I buy Geisley products, I usually wait till maybe Black Friday or some type of sales going on, and I can get them 40% off. But
that's what you gotta do.
Right, I like that combat trigger a little bit better than my Super Dynamic 3 gun that's on my 16-inch rifle. So I like that for some reason. I can't say for some reason. I know what the reason is. In the military, we had a 2-stage trigger with those Colts that we had, and that right there, man, is good. So love it. I actually got another shorty. 5.56 in the safe right now, and I'm waiting for my can to come back. I just put it in over the weekend, so I should have that back any day. Matter of fact, I I'm going to call the ATF tomorrow to see how things are going with it. But I got the
Oh, you're actually
man,
calling them. I didn't call them. I waited. My first NFA item that I've ever purchased in my entire life, and I've never done a Form 1, never done a Form 4. So I did an eForms account, and I waited 6 days for my stamp. Ever, like first day ever, I waited 6 days, and I still can't shoot the suppressor because I can't find a silencer coat piston to save my life in half by 28. And I kind of like got pissed off at their customer service because they kind of told me to like F right off. But this is actually my carry gun right now. This is my 365X. It's the XL grip, regular slides, got a Patmos Arms Revelation slide. Has a Spectre Comp FCU, so I got that gold flat trigger with the Holo Sun on there. This thing is one bad gun. I just love it. It is one of my favorites. But we always do a strap check. That's why I always say, "Hey, what are you carrying?" I'm trying to make sure I ask everybody, "Hey, what's your carry gun?" And I've yet to get someone that says, "I don't carry a gun."
Now I did get the what's the trigger on here? Damn, man. I guess people say, man, how in the hell?
Is it a Timney? Is it a Apex?
Apex, yeah. Yep. Got the Apex trigger on here. Apex, that's the first thing. Anytime I buy a Glock, that's the first thing I'm dropping in it is that Apex trigger.
You know? I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for triggers there, dude, I would check out the Timney Alpha trigger. This thing is a game changer. It is a extremely comfortable, crisp break, but it's lighter. You can actually send this to Johnny Glocks, and he'll actually do the Johnny Glock package on your Alpha trigger. Johnny Glocks is actually like, he's right up the street. He's like about a half hour from me.
Okay. Yeah. Next, I may be the next Glock that I'm gonna do. I'm definitely gonna send it over to him to go ahead and take care of me because I've seen, matter of fact, I look at this guy named Chris. I can't think of his last name, but he's out in Texas. And he flew to Johnny Glocks from Dallas. And I'm like, and he calls his Glock the Glockato. So if you guys Google Glockato, that is it's pimped out, man. But he was like, man, that it shoots flat, like, man.
Yep.
Chris T.
He knows what he's.
Yeah, you guys check out his YouTube. Yeah, Chris TV. He's with the GHG Hustle guys out in Dallas. So I mean, yeah, these guys got like almost 2 million viewers. Yeah, so yeah, and Chris TV and GHG Hustle. Younger guys, and they're not the most. I would say. They still got a lot to learn, but they're young. And I can remember how I was when I was their age, so I can't complain. But yeah, I look at those guys, and because a lot of times, older guys like me, you got to look to the younger guys to stay abreast of everything. You don't want to go out there with some old crappity gun and they start laughing at you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That old crappity gun that you got, probably you can outshoot them any day of the week, No, I do.
But let me say this real quick. I will, no lie. I was teaching a class one time, and there was a wasp on my target, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna just shoot the target, to scare him away. Actually, I shot this gun at that wasp. Boom! Hit him in half. One half was dead. The other half was crawling away. And my students at that time, they were not focused on the class. When they saw me do that, they were hyper focused at that point. It was cool. And I did another trick shot over the weekend, about 15 yards away. At the range, I had a used shotgun, not slug, but the shell casing, the hull, And they were like, "Oh, you can't shoot that!" Boom, knocked it down. They were like, "Wow," So the old guy can shoot still.
My first handgun class I ever took, and I don't take classes as much as I should, but I was still working, and when I was still working at Cape Gunworks in Massachusetts, we had a company instructor. His name's Ben DeWalt. He goes his company's on-site firearms training. Great instructor. He was doing trick shots where he would hold his Glock with like his thumb and his middle finger and shoot obviously with his index finger, and he'd get the bullseye like 3 times, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
That's like great. Yeah, probably like 10 yards. Not that far. But still, it was a great instructor. Now I do want to ask, since you know, I'm guessing you do the Florida concealed carry safety class that you have to take. Since Florida enacted the universal, the concealed constitutional carry. It's not full. Everyone always thinks, oh, Florida's constitutional carry. No, it's constitutional concealed carry. All right, you can only open carry if you're hunting or fishing to and from. Granted, I'm not a proponent of open carry. Some people are, some people aren't. I'm more of just like, hey, you don't need to know what I have on me. I'm gonna keep to myself, and I'm gonna get home. But with the constitutional concealed carry, are you still seeing people realizing like, wow, I can actually buy a handgun now and carry it? Are you seeing more concealed carry classes as an instructor since that has gone into effect? Was it last June?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It probably, when I did my taxes for last year, and I looked at my profit and loss and everything, I probably am doing maybe 55% of what I normally would be doing beforehand. I mean, I used to get a lot of huge classes with 40, 50 people in them. And, you know, man, I used to love doing that. You know, not one because it was profitable. I'm not gonna lie to you on that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it put me in front of a huge audience to be able to teach and to be able to get. Because one thing with my class, I tell them, I'm like, hey, look, if you got a question, don't hesitate to stop me. Okay, I'm not one of those prima donnas that, you know, oh no, you can't stop me in my class. No, stop me. Okay, I love to answer questions. But you know, those classes are slim to none nowadays. I do have a pipeline with a few local judges where they will send people to me that have some type of gun crime issue, or they need to have this, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, they need to have some type of gun safety class taught to them. So I'll do that for them as well. But I can honestly say that people that I get for my concealed weapons class now are those people that are very conscious of learning, want to know the law, want to know safety, that sort of thing. And then I'm honest with them in the class. I'm like, hey, look, you don't necessarily need your concealed weapons license, but I will give you the benefits of it. One, you can walk out the store the same day with your license. Two, any prudent person that is carrying a firearm will want to get and know this knowledge that I'm teaching you. Everybody that comes to my class, they always say, hey man, I didn't know that. And I say that I didn't know that could get you put in jail. Okay.
Exactly. And that's what I always tell people, regardless of, first of all, you don't need to have a 3-day wait. You have a concealed carry permit, walk out the door same day. Once that comes back from FDLE, even, you know, in the case of the state of Florida. But, you know, I came from Massachusetts where, you know, I didn't have a 3-day waiting period, but at the same time, if you got delayed, you might have to wait 3 days, but also it was instant because I had a concealed weapons permit. I wasn't able to actually own a gun in Massachusetts without a concealed weapons permit. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do a 3-day wait period. After that, I'd rather just get a concealed weapons permit. But also, it gives you the knowledge. So say, God forbid, you have to use your gun in self-defense. When that prosecuting attorney is looking at you saying this person did this, and they're looking at your rap sheet when you have really, you were, you know, say you're clean cut guy, nothing, not even a traffic ticket, and you had to defend yourself by using your firearm. He's going to look saying, oh, Oh, he doesn't have this, doesn't have this, doesn't have any priors. Oh no, damn, he's actually an upstanding. He's a law-abiding citizen. Okay, and then he says, well, he didn't have. Nope, he actually has his concealed weapons permit, so he actually
Yep.
understands firearms law and got some proper training.
Mhm.
Everything is meant to help you. What is
Yep.
one misconception that you see when you're teaching people, especially in the state of Florida, that they don't realize they can't do?
Let's see here. Well, I'm going to say that a lot of the people that take the class really don't know much of anything that they can or can't do.
Yeah.
Very few people that, I'll say, well, this is more common sense here. Drinking,
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
driving,
common sense.
yeah. So driving drunk and having a firearm on you—that's two felonies you got right there. Okay, if they pull you over and you blow more than .08, that's one felony. You got a gun in the car, that's two felonies.
Another one that I didn't know was so there's no such thing in the state of Florida as a gun-free zone. So
Right.
technically, yes, there might be a sign that says,
Uh,
okay,
yeah,
no
yeah,
firearms arrested, no firearms allowed on the premises. Okay, cool. I can conceal carry. You'll never know. You'll never have to know. So say
yeah.
I'm in line and I this is how my the firearms instructor I went through down here at my old shop to get my license explained it to me. And I always say that I never thought of it like that. Say you're in Starbucks, you drop your phone or something like that, you bend over your phone, your gun is brandishing, and that's what it used to be called back in Massachusetts. Your shirt lifts up and your gun's showing. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you are now, and that person, and the barista at the counter sees the gun and says, "Sir, you're not allowed in here. You need to leave." You can say, "Okay, I'll leave."
Yeah,
You have to
I'll leave.
leave because if you want to put that line in the sand saying, "No, I'm not leaving. I'm just getting a coffee. Relax, whatever." You're trying to be like, "Hey, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm just getting a coffee. My shirt left up." All right, cool. If you don't leave and they call the cops and they put trespassing on you, okay,
Mm-hmm.
getting
You
put
go to
as
jail.
trespass. Yeah, you go to jail because trespassing is one thing. Trespassing with a firearm is a felony, and you go to
Yep.
jail.
You
I
go to
didn't
jail.
I didn't realize that.
Another thing, I tell them, movie theaters, Target, Walmart. Those are the three big culprits there that will not want you to come into that. Oh, another thing,
I didn't know
in
Walmart. I go to Walmart. I always got a gun on me in Walmart. That's the place I want to have a gun on me.
you're right. Another thing is, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. Did you know that in Florida, back in 2021, Governor DeSantis signed a bill, made it into law, that you do not have to have prior consent from religious leadership in any type of church, synagogue, mosque, or anything. You can carry in the state of Florida without having permission from the leaders of the church or leaders of whatever religious
I didn't.
institution that you're going or building you're going in. Yeah,
I
they
didn't
put.
know that. I thought, and that is, and this is if you have a concealed weapons permit, or is this on your Florida driver's license?
No. You don't have to. You do not. You can carry concealed in any place of religious worship without prior consent. Because before then, you had to have consent from someone in the church to be able to carry concealed in a religious building. Now you do not have to have that anymore.
I didn't know. I did not know that. That's something. Okay, I learn something new every day. Granted, I
Yeah,
don't really go to. I'm not a church goer. I'm a Christian and all that stuff. I just don't go
right,
to
right,
church.
right, right. But I
But
mean, yeah.
I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't know that because I know for a while you had to get permission from your pastor, synagogue, or whatever religious house you go
Not
to,
anymore.
and yeah. And then now, is it still true that you're actually not allowed to carry in a state park?
Well, it all depends. I always tell my students err on the side of caution. If there's any entrance in any type of state park, okay, well, let's just say state, local, federal, look for signs, okay? If they say no guns here, no guns here, leave it in the car, okay? But they have to post it and it has to be visible. Okay, it cannot be behind some tree. It has to be visible at the entrance. And if you're going to a state park, And I don't pretty much go to a lot of state parks here, but if there's like a state park ranger or something, you can always ask them, sir or ma'am, am I allowed to conceal carry here in this park? They will let you know. Okay. I know most federal parks, that is a no-no. Okay. However, with the state parks, you want to actually err on the side of caution and not guess about it, because you may be breaking the law if you guess, and you may guess wrong.
So, because I know down here, especially on the Gulf Coast, there's a few state parks that are, a lot of people hike. And my thing is rattlesnakes. I don't need a
Yeah.
rattlesnake popping out in front of me. I don't care if it's a state park or not. I'm not getting bit by a rattlesnake. I'm blowing that thing's head off. Or, for instance, Mayaca State Forest. It's about 30 minutes from where I live. There's the Mayaca River. The size of alligators I see in that river. Yeah. If I'm hiking in the trails or if I'm fishing on the banks or something like that, I'm going to have my gun on me. I don't care. Granted, yes, err on the side of caution. You want to make sure, but at the same time, if you do it and say you have to defend yourself, yes, there is that level of I was literally defending myself. A 12-foot alligator was coming at me. What do you want me to do?
And now see, with that, also the rule on using deadly force on animals, basically you have to feel that fear for your life or great bodily harm, such as a dog. Okay. But
dog's another thing.
Again, I'm not waiting for that dang old dog to come and bite me. Okay. I'm a dog lover, love dogs. Okay. Last thing I ever want to do is shoot a dog. Okay. Now I will, with most dogs, they normally, unless they're like really aggressive or trained to, they're not gonna, they'll
bark you alone.
Right, exactly. You go away, and he'll go his way, or but now, but if it's a dog and that dog is hyper aggressive and he's probably not an anchor biter, I'm gonna try. In most cases, I'm going to have mace with me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the next thing I wanted to ask you is
in most cases, you use mace, that'll take care of that. And normally, the last thing I want to do is shoot a dog. Okay.
Oh yeah, of course. I couldn't. I don't know how. If it came down to me or the dog, yeah, obviously I would make sure I get home. But at the same time, I could never. I don't know if I could ever do it. When you're teaching people that are obviously self-defense is a big thing with guns, do you recommend people carry stuff like mace, tasers, or like less than lethal options?
I wouldn't say a taser, because taser, you got to be up close and personal. And I do own a police taser.
Yep.
The model before they use now, I have mine is a lot bigger. But keep in mind, it depends on what that person is wearing. Those taser products could fall right off. I mean, I wouldn't use a taser as my only line of defense. I mean, I probably would feel more comfortable having pepper spray, because you somebody in that with the hot sauce in their eyes, it's lights out at that point.
Oh yeah. Then you got enough time to get away. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Or I would say, I had a young lady take a class with me, and she was like, "Hey, you know what? I really don't think that I could actually shoot and injure somebody." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, no problem. Why don't you get one of those guns that have the pepper balls in them?"
Oh, the burners. Those are not. We used to sell a lot of those back home. That was a lot of people bought those.
And I'm like, hey, this is better than nothing. Okay. Now, I also tell women this. I say, hey, look, if somebody's bad enough to break your door in, they're not just coming in there to say, hey, okay. They're probably not coming in there to steal something. And I tell women this, and I'm crude with it. I tell them they're gonna probably beat the crap out of you. They're probably gonna rape you, and then they're probably gonna kill you because you probably could identify them. So I said, hey, show no mercy. If somebody if they got the balls enough to come and break in your door, okay, they more than likely there's a chance that they are coming in there to kill you. Okay, and you have to take it as such. And when I say that, take the class turns to a whole nother level. Then
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh wow, really? Okay,
When
this
you
could happen.
bring that, like, the realism of what could honestly happen, and it's
Yeah,
not just going to happen at 3 o'clock in the morning. It could happen at 2 in the
anytime.
afternoon.
Right.
Anytime it can happen. That's why I'm a big proponent of always have a firearm. Like, always carry. Like I'm at my house. The second I get in my house, my concealed carry is still on me for the most part until I'm just like laying in bed and it goes on my bedside table. But at the same time,
Yep.
I got my 12 gauge ready to go right next to my bed. So if someone
Mm.
comes in that door, they've already realized, okay, F around is find out is a real thing because
Oh
I
yeah.
know my rights. You're not, like you said, you're not breaking down my door to come in for a cup of coffee and, hey, let's talk
Right.
about our week. No, like
Mhm.
you're going to try and hurt me, and I'm not going to give that. I'm not
And
going to give you that opportunity.
that is the ultimate. There, they come into your dwelling, your backyard. They're coming in there. Now you have or should have every advantage if they're coming into your home. Now, I also tell people this: look, unless you're taking a serious amount of CQB classes, that sort of thing, do not go rummaging around looking for somebody in your home. Everything in that house can be replaced. Okay,
Yep.
you stay put in your bedroom. Call the police, and then make sure that, hey, do not go in there room clearing, because I mean you got to think the average American or anybody doesn't have room clearing skills. Okay, and I mean, stay in your bed. Use that bed as cover and concealment a little bit. Stay low. You got the advantage because you know your home. Let them take whatever they need to take up there. Long as no human person is in danger, hey, stay right there. Guard your room. Be in your room. Aim at that door. Now, if somebody hit that corner, light them up. But other than that, call the police. And stand your ground while you're in your room in your home.
Exactly. Flying Rich
Yeah.
is out in the live chat out there on Rumble. So, guys, make sure if you have any questions for us, please throw it in there. I've been keeping up with the chat. He does have a question. Does Rod ever train men?
I do, and he knows I train.
And he also just donated $1. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. And he's like, do you only train women? And that was the next question that he
No,
had.
no, I do not. Actually, I would say now, um, I would say it's maybe 60-40.
Mhm.
60% women, 40% men. Now, I'm gonna tell you another thing that because I always take demographics and everything, analytics of my classes, even so, not just the gender, but I look at racial makeup as well. I would say right now, 45% of my classes are white, 45% of my are Caucasian, 45% is Black or African American, and 10% of everything else. And everything else I say um, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, and then because I get a huge array of different people. I also train, and I even on my Google page I indicate, hey, look, LBGTQ, hey, you guys need to be get protected too. I train you all as well. So I do, you know, some instructors they say I cross the railroad track. I'm like, hey, I don't care who they are. Color doesn't mean a thing to me. What it means, most importantly to me, is that they get the best amount of training while they're with me. Because one thing that I can almost tell you, I can always tell you this: you will not leave my range without until I'm satisfied. Even if it means, hey, I gotta throw a couple of dozen extra bullets in there to get you trained up to where you need to be. Because the one thing that I do not want to do is turn on that TV, the news comes on, and you are on there because and you're dead or seriously injured
Exactly.
because of something that I lacked in my training. Okay.
Exactly.
And I tell everybody, man, you know, yes, you're a customer, a client of mine, but really in my heart, you're a friend and family at that point. If you're broken bread with me, you're friend and family. Okay. I tell my clients, our relationship does not end at the range. If you got any questions regarding guns, gun safety, do's, don'ts, those type of things, you have my number. You have my email address. You can text me, call me. I don't care what. I will get the answer for you. Do not go to the barbershop or listen to some so, some hoop to do that thinks he knows the law, like some people said, let's talk about this real quick because Hunter Biden comes to mind.
Yep.
They always, and even in my class, I say, yes, you can own a concealed weapons license and a medical marijuana license. Okay. Yes, you can. Now,
I didn't know that. I always thought because how it went back with Massachusetts, if you had a medical marijuana card, the second that flagged something with the state because you went 2 background checks. You did the state and federal background check in Massachusetts. And if you had a medical marijuana card in the state of Massachusetts, that automatically disqualifies you in the state of Mass for having a license to carry in the state of Mass. So I didn't know it forward.
Well, in the caveat, a lot of people, and I also tell them that, but I tell them this too: the same department, which is the Department of Agriculture, that gives you your concealed weapons license, they also give you your medical marijuana license as well. So I can say this: if you think that they don't have some type of way of finding out and linking the two together, you're crazy. Okay. I will tell them this: when you go to the gun store and you fill out that 4473, and it asks you there, hey, i.e. Hunter Biden, are you a legal user or addicted to a narcotic? And you put no, but they go somehow or another and say, because I've had my medical marijuana license before, okay? And they go to I suffer from PTSD and anxiety.
Yep.
I don't have it now, but I did. And they know what you purchase from that particular dispensary. Trust me, they know.
I didn't know that. I have partaked in my younger years, but I do not partake in it. I have no issue with it as long as you do hey, I understand the medicinal purposes of it. I mean, if you're just some, punk ass kid that doesn't want to get a job, I got kind of a little bit of an issue with it. But at the same time, like there's, something like that, I understand. I have no problem. I think, especially for in cases where you do suffer, if someone suffers from PTSD, any type of trauma, anxiety, depression, you name it, and if that is all you need that helps you get through the day and it doesn't impair you, because sometimes it does, it all depends. There's a science to it. It shouldn't disqualify you from being able to protect yourself.
Now with that, what happened with Hunter Biden, although I'm not a fan of Hunter Biden,
I think he's a massive piece of shit.
Right, yeah, exactly. I also have to look at the Second Amendment part of his conviction. And so that lets everybody else should be on alert. Hey, if he got charged and convicted with it, everybody, it's like what they say, BS goes downhill. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't cheer so loud now with him, because that may just be the opening of the floodgates of everybody else that happening to. Well, now, will it happen? Who knows? I think that would be very petty,
I'm
but
surprised that they got him convicted, because I saw this and I'm like, why are they even bothering with this? The second he gets convicted, he's going to get a pardon.
right.
I'm like, nothing's going to happen with this. Like, yes, Hunter Biden is a massive piece of shit, and
Mhm.
I don't agree with him at all. I don't agree with his family. And granted, I'm not a political person at all. But what the evidence that is overwhelming and fact in certain cases, I think he's a massive piece of shit.
Right.
And for people championing this as it could be it's actually people thinking, oh, Second Amendment, he did this. Like, he is a known drug user of not just marijuana. Okay, he is a known crackhead,
Yeah.
and I don't know how the hell he got it. Again, he lied on a 4473, which
Oh yeah.
again, yeah, of
He did.
course.
Kodak Black did. I mean,
A
a lot of
lot, a
people don't
lot
know
of
about
a lot of
it.
people, a lot of people have, especially famous people. When you really look into it, it's like, what? Hold the phone, and then you're like, oh, I see. Yes, it does prove that the 4473 has more flaws than you think, and
Yeah.
that
Right.
going into a 4473 is a infringement on the Second Amendment. But
It
when you
is.
look at it down to brass tacks, okay, he is not going to see a day in jail.
Mhm.
There's no way he's going to jail.
No.
Second, like you said before, that has a big possibility of opening the floodgates for especially people in the terms of having a medical marijuana card
Yep.
if they have
Mhm.
4473. I did not
Yep.
know that it was out of the same office in the state of
Yes,
Florida. I
sir.
didn't know that. So
Same.
I'm learning so much stuff. I gotta take your class, Rod. Granted, you're all the way in Jacksonville, so
Same. Hey, we can do it by
over
Teams.
Zoom, yeah, Teams,
Yeah.
yeah. So real quick before, I know we're over the hour, and I do want to ask you. I noticed that you have been working with this shop over in Jacksonville. Is that where you teach most of your classes, or do you where do you actually host your classes?
So the shop that you saw, that was actually a buddy of mine. Matter of fact, that's he was doing my form 3,
Form four,
uh,
form three.
form 4
Yep.
for my can. So, and he wanted, and he looks at me as like he's an apprentice, to me, because all the stuff that I know, and he learns a lot from me, which is cool. I'm fine. I'm fine. Hey, I don't mind giving folks a secret sauce.
Yeah. You don't need to
So
gatekeep. No need to gatekeep for anything.
exactly. So it's enough business for everybody out there. But yeah, my home range is at Gateway Rifle and Pistol Club here in Jacksonville. So been a range. I've been with them for I think this is maybe my 6th or 7th year with them. So as a member, so they give me a lot of leeway. I bring them a lot of business. Especially by me being an RSO as well. I have an impeccable safety record. So, I'm one of those guys that, hey, they never have to worry about me nor my students because I'm hyper vigilant when it comes to safety, gun safety, doing the right thing, range etiquette, all of that good stuff. You're going to learn all of that with me. I mean, I had a situation, and most firearm instructors will tell you, and they tell you this has never happened to them in their line, where somebody with a loaded gun will point a gun at you, okay, at some point. And it happens, okay?
I had a running tally in the gun shop I worked at down here,
Right.
which ironically happened to be more down here than back home. It
Mhm.
was just like days since loaded gun was pointed at me. I had
Yeah,
guns pointed at me a lot,
a
a
lot.
lot.
I
And
just had
every
a little,
single time I treat it very the same. And yes,
yep,
I take it a little bit too seriously because when I see your booger hook in the trigger the trigger
yep,
guard, and I know, and I know it's loaded. And the second, oh, hold on, place that gun down right now. Do not point that at my chest. Let me clear this. And oh, look at that, a nice hollow point comes right out of the chamber.
oh, I didn't know that was there,
Oh,
you know, right. But, one thing with me is, I give them the story. I said, hey, look, how would you, because, during class I have my own gun. How would you like if I just pulled this gun out and pointed it at you? It wouldn't make you feel too good with it. Everybody said, no, it wouldn't. I said, you don't point your gun at me and I won't point mine at you. Okay, that's fair? Fair. Cool. Okay. And then at that point, normally we have no issues. And I say that after, because one thing with me as an instructor, a lot of instructors, they have this macho bravo thing to where, oh, well, I don't want to let people see me miss. I always do demonstration shoots, okay, in my classes.
Oh, so you're saying firearms instructors have an ego?
Yeah, exactly. And I will tell you this: I'm not afraid to miss, because that shows.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm human. Okay. Now, do I miss normally? No, I don't. But I want you to be able to see what happens when you do everything right, like with your stance, your breathing, your grip, your trigger pull, your aiming, all of that. When everything is in line, this is what happens. Okay, you're able to shoot right where you want to. If that bullet doesn't go where you wanted to do, then that means you've done something wrong. And my job is to dissect it and to find out, hey, guess what? This is what you're doing wrong. Let's try this differently. One thing I don't believe is rebuilding Rome. Okay. The only thing I'm going to do is take little small things. A lot of people don't realize, and I take a holistic approach to teaching. I say, hey, let's get our breathing right. Okay. I talk in a nice tone. I don't yell at them. Let's get our breathing right. Relax your shoulders. Act like you're in, close your eyes. Get some of that good oxygen that God is giving you. Breathe into those lungs. Slow out. Now bring your gun up. Aim. Now, in real life, is that going to happen in a self-defense? No, but we work our way up to that. That's where we're starting at. Then toward the end of class, they're running and gunning in my class. Okay, they're going through cones. Sure, you probably seen some of the little drills I've had people do. They're doing, and I put them through the closest thing that I can do to a real life type situation. And then they a lot of times they say, man, that was hard. So I said, if you thought that was hard, nobody's shooting at you. Ain't there's no mass shooters out here or anything like that. You're just amongst friends and family right now. If you thought that was hard, imagine if it actually happens in real life, how it's going to be. And they were like, wow, yeah. So I said, this is something that you have to keep training on. You can't just come to me one time and think you know everything. No, you don't. I'm going to give you the basics. I'm going to teach you, like in the military, we say, just enough to be dangerous. Okay? I'm going to teach you just enough to be dangerous. After that, it is up to you to hone your skills even more. I'm giving you the secret sauce by giving you the foundation of what you need. It is up to you to grow from that part. Okay? Nobody wants to go out there for the first time and say, man, this is the end all. No, this ain't. I don't care what firearm class you go to, even in an advanced class. That ain't the end all, be all. You still must train. I went to Scott Jedlinski's class for the Red Dot class in 2022. Learned a whole hell of a lot of good stuff. Okay, and did I stop there with my Red Dot journey? No, I went home, started perfecting it, because I knew at some point I want to be able to teach it. Okay. And that was it.
There you go. Hell yeah. Well, guys, I know we are over the hour, and for those who are still listening, I really appreciate it. Guys, please do me a favor and check out Scorched Firearms Training on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously check out scorchedartfirearmstraining.com. If you're in the Jacksonville area, I would definitely go check him out. You're looking to, say, you're a first-time gun owner, or you're looking to hone your skills, check out Rod Mills of Scorched Earth Firearms Training. I think training is something that I know personally as someone that I used to shoot guns every single day. So I got the notion to myself that, I don't need to train. I shoot guns every day at a shop. I don't work at a gun shop anymore. Last time I went to the range was like a month ago, just, working, traveling, doing other stuff. you lose that. And
You
the
do.
last time I went to the range, I still had the fundamentals. I haven't shot as good as I used to shoot because I'm so used to. If it's like a Glock, I'm gonna shoot that because that's my gun I shoot. But
Mhm.
I did shoot my 365, and I was like, oh my god, this I still that, but like usually I have very tight groupings between 10 to 15 yards. That's what I usually practice at. They were wider than I expected because I haven't shot in so long. So
Mhm.
I'm trying to get you guys that watch the show every week to get in the mindset of listen, don't skimp on training. I'm not saying go out every weekend and drop 1,000 rounds in a training class every single weekend because one, that's expensive as all hell. Ammo is expensive. But my mind, once to three, maybe four times a year, take a training class on concealed carry, rifle, pistol, shotgun, and go from there. Maybe get into long range rifle shooting if that's just like a hobby, or if like you're trying to get into like really like long range hunting, yeah. But your basics, rifle, pistol, shotgun. You should take at least a course, and then medical. Medical is another thing. Take a medical class to know, you're putting holes in people. You want to make sure you know how to plug holes as well. Um,
Yep.
but guys, thank you so much for watching. Rod, you get the last word. Let people, you got anything coming up, or if I missed any other social media, you always get the last. People get the guest gets the last word.
Well, guys, go out there and train. It's anybody can just sit here and look at John with Shooting Gallery or Rich, or John Crump. I mean, anybody can do that. Get out there. If you can, get some training in. I mean, again, even if you're just going once a month, that's once a month is better than 0 times a month. Get out there, train as if your life depended on it. Make sure that you keep your firearms clean, oiled, and lubricated, that sort of thing. Because wouldn't it be a shame that you needed to use your gun for to save your life or save somebody else's life and you had a malfunction because you failed to do your due diligence on maintaining your firearm? I mean, little stuff like that, man. It takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to
10,
10 minutes
15 minutes. Yep.
to clean the
Yep.
gun, clean it, oil it, wipe it down. Man, just do that. I mean, I see a lot of people that come to my class that got lint balls all in their dang on magazine well and all of that stuff. So, you know,
I'll be
you
quite
know,
honest. My concealed carry right now, I'm looking at it. I did just clean it out, but the top I can see there's lint in there. There's also where because I don't my carry guns. I'm the worst at not cleaning them because I'm so used to just okay, there you go, boom, there you go, and
yeah,
in my pants, on my bedside table, or on my bedside table in my pants, or when I'm going to the range. Like this gun right here. I can actually keep showing this up. Check out Liberty Bell Firearms, guys. That is clean as a whistle. My Bear Creek Arsenal, I'm purposely not cleaning this because people want to say Bear Creek Arsenal is crap. They have horrible QC. No, they don't. This is at about 700 rounds right now. Not a single malfunction. All right. It's ready to go. All right.
it
This is
sounds good.
yeah. It's pretty nice. I don't. Do you know who Tony Simon is?
No, I never heard of them.
All right, so Tony Simon, he runs the Seconds for Everybody Diversity Shoot. Um, he he was giving me crap like, oh, you like Bear Creek Arsenal, really? Come on, you're better than that. And I'm like, hey man, she shoots. But guys, next week, please tune in live on Rumble. We will be here as always every week. I know I used to kind of live stream to X, but my bandwidth couldn't handle it. Please make sure you are subscribing to the YouTube channel because that's where most of the main content is, and also check out how to. That's where we're going to be posting our tutorial videos from now on. We have the 1911 build coming up. We got a couple other things that I got coming up. Hopefully I can land those by midsummer. But I'm trying not to get too booked out with projects. But how to is where most of the tutorials are going to be. And I really want to appreciate everybody listening. So as always, stay safe, stay shooting. We will see you next time. Peace.